Here's a MeteoMark weather update. Before I get into pictures, I'm going to briefly do a quick hurricane update on Tropical Storm Dorian here for all of our viewers tuning in for the special update on Tropical Storm Dorian. You can see the satellite picture here. Dorian is becoming a little bit larger. It's undulating between 50 and 60 mile per hour winds with gusts, higher gusts. But it really doesn't matter. It makes it a moderate tropical storm, and this storm will continue to chug off towards the west. Let's take a look at the current track that we're expecting here, just east of the Cape, or west of the Cape Verde Islands for that matter. You can see the track takes us this direction towards the Lesser Antilles and skimming just north of Puerto Rico here and extending off towards north of Cuba. It's going to be very close. So a lot of the models are trending a little bit further southward at this time. But we think in time it's going to continue off towards the southern Bahama Islands. So beware if you're in the Bahamas, Florida, Puerto Rico, the Lesser Antilles, U.S. Virgin Islands, Haiti, Dominican Republic. These areas could be affected. Now, if you notice here, it's a very good westward jaunt here north of the islands, courtesy of a Bermuda high here over Bermuda. However, towards the end of the forecast period, I think pretty much there's going to be a little bit of an east coast troughiness here. It should begin to steer the system a little bit more towards the northwest. And how quickly that occurs will depend on whether Dorian actually travels across the Florida Peninsula or heads up the east coast. So it could go one of two directions, and right now, being that that's going to be next Thursday or Friday, which is way out of this realm of scope of accurate model predictions, we're holding off on actually predicting where it's going to head, but I can assure you by the end of the forecast period here, Dorian will begin to bend a little bit more towards the northwest. So that's what we're looking at. Intensity scale-wise, Dorian might actually encounter a little bit cooler waters and some wind shear north of the islands here. So would not be surprised if Dorian goes down to a minimal tropical storm before bumping back up to a moderate tropical storm. That's our Dorian update, and I will continue to stay on tropical weather watch as stated at the beginning of the video. Let's take a look at some picturesque photos here before we get into the core forecast. I'm going to step off the screen here. Lenny Mendola has a beautiful sunset photo here from Toms River, New Jersey. Take a look at this. Thank you, Lenny, for sending this in. This is sent in last night. Beautiful, picturesque photo. You don't get photos of sunsets this pristine very often. It looks kind of like paradise here in Toms River, New Jersey. So very nice, Lenny. Thank you for sending that in. That's a very beautiful sunset photo. We're heading down to Linden, Texas with Lucas D here, and this is some of his best sky pictures yet. You can see the haziness, and we also got some nice billowing cumulus clouds with a backdrop of a blue skies and some very beautiful photos of some foliage taking place down there in Texas. But we saved the best for last here. This beautiful sunset photo, another sunset photo here from Linden, Texas. Look at those deep crimsons and reds. A lot of people are getting some really beautiful sunset photos lately, so thank you, Lenny, and thank you, Lucas, for sending those in. Let's get right into the core forecast. Let's take a look at 48-hour QPF across the nation. Here in the Northeast, a lot of this is associated, this is through Monday actually, a lot of this is associated with a little bit of troughiness and a cold front that will head through the Northeast later on in the weekend, but we're not expecting a tremendous amount of rain. The main focus is across the central and southern plains here, where we'll see upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rain expected with this overrunning front, which could produce some flash flooding and some severe weather. And here in Florida as well, we continue with this wet pattern. Let's take a look at your TGIF, your Friday. Here in the Northeast, we got one more day of very dry conditions and cool conditions at that. Very nice, low humidity. Here across the Southeast, we're continuing with those proverbial late afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. And then here in the plains is where we could get some flash flooding and even some severe weather down to Oklahoma City, down to Little Rock. Now, it's a little bit marginal because not all the factors are there, but we could see some isolated severe going on in this area. So be on the lookout for that. Here's your weekend highlights for the weekend here. Take a look at these beautiful conditions across much of the north here as the front continues to sag southward. We do have another front, however, and that'll be skimming across the northeast here with a bit of some spritzels of some showers and very isolated thunderstorms, but nothing severe, nothing torrential. And across the southern states here, we continue with that stalled out frontal boundary. The mid to central and southern plains continue with their problems of flash flooding and some isolated severe weather. That's pretty much going to do it for MeteoMark. Stay with me for this tropical storm Dorian coverage. I'm sure we'll be calling Dorian a tropical storm for quite some time. Like me on Facebook at MeteoMark. Subscribe to me on YouTube at MeteoMark.com. Here's a 4-day forecast for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira in the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at your TGIF here. Looking very beautiful in the mid to high 70s. A nice cool start. Good for sleeping weather in the around the 50, 47, 50 area range. Heading on into Saturday and Sunday, this is where we get the chance of some showers and thunderstorms, but we're only talking about a 20 to 30% chance. Overnight lows in the low to mid 50s, upper 50s on Sunday morning. We head on into Monday, and we get a little bit of a cool down, mid to high 70s, and overnight lows in the low to mid 50s. So we're looking, other than that, we're looking pretty good. That's going to do it for MeteoMark.